Right, so this is English paper 1 or the composition part. So specifically I'm going to revise with you the article writing. So by definition, an article is a piece of writing intended to inform or educate the public or whoever reads it. That is what? An article. A piece of writing intended to inform or educate the public or whoever reads it. That is what? The article. So the article can be the magazine article. We can have the magazine article. Apart from that one, you can also have the letter to the editor. We can have the letter to the editor. And also, we can have the news article. Now, in this presentation, I'm going to revise with you the letter to the editor. The letter to the editor. So, the good part about the letter to the editor, which is the article, is that whichever topic you choose of interest, you can write and send it to the editor so that you educate or inform the public. So let's come to the features of the letter to the editor. So the first one, you need to have writer's address. Writer's address followed by editor's address. Then the next one is the salutation. The next one is the salutation, followed by the reference. So the reference here acts like a title or the heading. Then after the reference, you need to have the introduction. So the main body or the body of letter. Then the last one, you need to have the conclusion. Okay. So let me give you an example. So in this part here, I'm just going to choose any topic of my interest. So let me just choose the topic of dropouts terminology. So when you say dropout or dropouts, dropouts are the people who fail to graduate from the high school or from the secondary school because of different reasons. So the first thing here, I'm going to start with the writer's address. So the writer's address should have or should be written by indenting form. So I'm going to say Katondo Combined School. Katondo Combined School. Then I'm supposed to put a comma. P.O. Box 9179. 917901. Okay. Bwana Mkubwa. Ndola. So like the way I was saying, you're supposed to write the writer's address by indenting. So after that, you need to write the valid date. The valid date should be written slightly below the address. So if you're using a book, you need to skip one line. Okay. After you have written the writer's address, you are supposed to skip one line. Then write the date that you are writing, the day you are writing the article. So in this case here, like the way I'm recording this video, today is 30th October 2023. So I'm going to say 30th October 2023. Then I need to put a full stop. So the next one is the editor's address. So now the editor's address should be on the left side below the date on the writer's address. Okay. So of course here we are writing this letter, which is the article writing to the editor. So I'm going to say the editor. So I'm going to choose where I'm writing to. So I'm going to say the editor, Times of Zambia. The editor, Times of Zambia. PO Box 0479, there is 0475 93 Lusaka. That is for the editor's address. So let's come to the salutation. So on the salutation, you're supposed to put Dear Editor, or you can say Dear Sir / Madam, but mostly Dear Editor is used. So I'm going to say Dear Editor, then you're supposed to put a comma. So Dear Editor, then you put a comma. So followed by the reference. So reference here acts like a title. It acts like a title. So, since my topic at hand, it is the dropouts terminology. So I'm going to say concerns of dropouts terminology. So you're supposed to underline, okay? You're supposed to underline. So we are done with the reference. Let's come to the introduction. So the introduction, you are going to introduce what you are going to talk about in the body of letter or in your main body. So since here I'm talking about dropouts terminology, so I'm going to say, as a regular contributor, so in this part here, just help me to get a pen and a book and start writing what I'm going to give you. Okay. So as a regular contributor to your widely read newspaper, I'm writing to voice my concerns on the rampart. So as for rampart, it is R-A-M-P-A-N-T. R-A-M-P-A-T. Okay, so I'm saying R-A-M-P-A-N-T. That is what? Rampart. So as a regular contributor to your widely read newspaper, I'm writing to voice my concerns on the rampart misuse of the term school dropouts. Full stop. So that one is our introduction. That one is our introduction. So let's come to the main body. So the main body is going to be like this. I strongly hold the view that the printing media and indeed the general public have blown this issue out of proportion. I strongly hold the view that the printing media and indeed the general public have blown this issue out of proportion. Okay, let me also continue. So I'm going to say, but one thing that people ought to know is that certain individuals are not as academically gifted as others. But one thing that people ought to know is that certain individuals are not as academically gifted as others. So, however, this does not mean that they can't be successful elsewhere. It is a very unfortunately that the way they use dropouts insinuates a sense of helplessness, thereby making someone feel as though he or she is academically disabled to perform any mental work or anything of the sort, okay? So I'm saying, but one thing that people ought to know is that certain individuals are not as academically gifted as others. However, this does not mean that they can't be successful elsewhere. It is a very unfortunately that the way they use dropouts insinuates a sense of helplessness, thereby making someone feel as though he or she is academically disabled to perform any mental work or something of the thought. Let me say sort, not thought, but sort. So it is really takes away the fighting spirit and drives one of defensive attitudes. So I'm saying it really takes away the fighting spirit and drives one to the defensive attitudes. So let me also continue. I'm saying my appeal therefore is that this discrepancy in means out to be put right by men by referring to the language authorities and classic dictionaries. So my appeal therefore is that this discrepancy in means out to be put right by men by referring to the language authorities and classic dictionaries. Then lastly, I'm going to say it is a million times more constructive to give such people hope in life than demoralizing them. So I'm saying it is a million times more constructive to give such people hope in life than to demoralize them. After all, it is only natural to have both failures and successes, okay, in life in order to maintain the balance between skilled and unskilled manpower. So I'm saying it is only natural to have both failures and successes in life in order to maintain the balance between skilled and unskilled manpower. So my last appeal is to let us hear no more of distorted interpretation of the term dropouts from anyone in similar habits. So my last appeal is to let us hear no more of distorted interpretation of the term dropouts from anyone in similar habits. Then apart from that one, I'm going to say, the last thing I'm going to say, yours faithfully on the right side below the conclusion. So yours faithfully. Then apart from that one, you're supposed to sign. You are supposed to sign and write your name at the end. You're supposed to sign and write your name at the end. That's all.